Are members of the biggest political parties rebelling against their leaders? And also, former President Olusegun Obasanjo has once again called out President Buhari, accusing him of nepotism and corruption. This is Post Politics, and I am Mary Annika. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, has stated that it has set up a committee to investigate the conduct of its lawmakers in the National Assembly elections. This decision was taken as the party had earlier directed its members to vote Ali Ndume as the Senate President and Umar Bago as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. However, a candidate of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Ahmed Lawan, emerged as Senate President, while another APC candidate, Mr. Femi Gbajabiamila, emerged as the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Now, can we say that members of the PDP rebelled against it? Well, joining us in the studio, I have the lady. We'll start with the lady first, Fumi Ayola. She's a political analyst. It's good to have you join us, Fumi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. And of course, we have Mr. Sam Adeleke. He's also a political analyst. It's good to have you join us.
Good evening.
Let's just do a throwback to the just concluded National Assembly elections. Now, before that, we remember that there was a lot of war of words. First things first, the APC national chairman started off by saying, it's not going to be business as usual. We're going to have this committee and that committee. We choose who heads what committee. And then it didn't go down well with a lot of people, including the opposition. And then the election happened, and now we're here. I'll start with you, Fumi. Why do you think the PDP is so interested in investigating, and what does it change in any way?
Well, you see, the truth of the matter is that we know that the Speaker is the fourth person in the Nigerian government circle, and so the Speaker or the Senate President, third and fourth, they wield quite a lot of power. And depending on what you're trying to achieve, PDP now is in opposition. So depending on what they want to achieve, they need to have somebody who they can trust to be on that seat, which is what they had last elections. Okay, so the truth of the matter is, I don't know if you watched the elections. If you watched it, you will find out that it really did look very fishy. I remember myself commenting over and over again, why are they taking the pictures? They will thumbprint and then they will bring out their phones and then take a picture of the thumbprint. I kept on wondering why. And I remember the clerk saying, you're not supposed to take the photographs, don't take the photographs. If you take the clerk kept on, at some point in time, he just gave up. He said, at some point in time, he said, we're asking you not to do this, but if you do this, that's up to you. You're jeopardizing the, and he went on trying to explain that you don't need to take, that it's not constitutional for them to take the pictures of their thumbprints. But if you watch that, you saw that they were all taking, the moment they thumbprinted, they'll put their hands up, okay, bring out the phone, do a slide picture,
For me, Adeleke, I'm just wondering, this is the same thing that led INEC to say no taking of phones to the polling booths, because they were trying to guard against vote buying of sorts. And then we're seeing this happen on the floor of the National Assembly on live television.
Live TV.
Every Nigerian, including those who are watching from across the world, seeing the same people who are supposed to make laws that should govern us breaking the same laws.
Nigeria is a country that does not have shame. We are shameless. We don't even have a modicum of shame. We don't even pretend to have shame. And to be honest, I'm not really surprised, because we have not gone to the point whereby we have experienced, or we're not experiencing the revolution needed to sweep away bad leadership. For example, Nigeria, we keep thinking that these things are things that are inevitable, but the citizens are still sitting aloof. Nothing will happen if all we do when things like this happen is just to tweet about it and discuss about it in our offices, on the streets, in the studio and we don't occupy places. I'm sorry, every time I come here, I talk about this. For example, as of today, in Hong Kong, the protesters have currently barricaded the police headquarters because they want the chief executive to resign.
Hong Kong is known for standing its ground every time they want something done.
Last week, they were able to get the woman to withdraw the law, but now they want her to leave totally. Peaceful, they were just staying there. Everybody's stagnant, staying and just not going anywhere.
Yeah, but now, they have a precedent. Nigerians don't have a precedent of occupying anything.
We tried.
No, let me
occupy
tell you.
Nigeria.
I remember.
For how many hours?
I'm saying this because if we don't get to the point whereby we take to the streets and occupy those places and chase them out and demand a change in leadership, this will keep occurring. Nobody is ready to prosecute anybody. They were like, okay, even if you say don't do it, then will you arrest me? What can you do? I damn the consequence. So it's a country whereby no consequences. The people who are in power are breaking the laws to our highs.
I'm sorry
so
to disagree with you there. There are consequences.
So what these guys just did?
It's just who.
Who will prosecute them?
It depends on who.
They are trying to set up.
There are consequences for
a panel to investigate that.
Things. It depends on who.
But you cannot be a judge in your own case. That's the point.
Let me put it this way. It's not that there are no consequences. There should be. We have the laws. The problem is our justice system is completely what's the word to use? It's upside down. You know, we have a very, very ridiculous, bad justice system. So you take somebody to court and for the next 10 years, you're on one case. Our judicial system is terrible. So when you say there are consequences, somebody has been in court on a matter for 10 years. Mm-hmm. You know, even if he's eventually found guilty, the guy has spent 10 years free. So at some point in time, they'll just look at the permutations. Okay, so if I do this, I can. It's simple. You look at the one that pays you and you take it, and because our justice system is very flawed, people always get away with murder. I mean, let me tell you, backstory to this taking pictures, right? Because that failed, that political failed, I got a lot of audio messages, some other video messages, and the backstory behind that is that they were telling them that if you voted for this person or voted for that person, they were paying between $10,000 and $40,000. I mean, in the house.
These are allegations. We don't have proof, so
no.
It's hearsay.
Yes, it's hearsay. But I'm saying that I had audio messages sent to me, people in the house talking to each other, you know, discussing these issues. Now, whether it's hearsay or not, but you know, when people begin to take pictures, even if before then I thought it was hearsay, right? And then why would you vote and take a picture? What are you trying to do? What's the reason? What's the intention behind taking that picture? Why would I vote and take my picture? What do I want to show?
I did ask a question earlier, and I'm going to ask that question again. If the people who are making laws that are supposed to govern us and them, because hopefully nobody's above the law in Nigeria, hopefully, what is this? How do you think the international community views us? Because we have we have the Congress in the US, and of course you have the Senate. Well, the UK runs a parliamentary system of government, but you also have the House of Parliament, and everything is this bare. Yeah. But in Nigeria, it always has to have, let me use the local parlance, K-leg.
Drama.
He has said that we the people are docile, hence the reason why these people get away with murder. And you say the justice system is the problem. But if the international community does not take us serious in anything, and we keep saying that we're the big brother of Africa, or the giant of Africa, I'm wondering, is there any hope for us? Because we're going to do 4 years, and then we're going to add those 4 years to the 20 years of democracy that we're celebrating, and then we'll go for another election or, you know, electoral cycle. Is there going to be any change in sight whatsoever?
Let me tell you the truth, right? Before I ran for elections, this last elections, I honestly felt that we could do something. We could make a change. Nigerians were ready for a change.
You're using past tense. You're saying you felt. So
yes.
Has that
no, right
changed?
now, I'm telling you, after the election, you know when you talk to people, you're doing a door-to-door, you're talking to people every day, and you hear them talk. You realize that there's really no hope. I mean, I honestly, even, the young people that you feel that, yes, okay, they are our future, when you hear people talk, they don't care. The average Nigerian on the streets doesn't understand how the elections, how the people in authority affect him, because he doesn't have, there's no direct, what's the word is, there's no direct, the effect that gets to the man on the street is negative. So because it's negative, he really doesn't care who's there. Now, if the effect that gets the man on the street is positive, he will be more interested in who gets to governance, who's going to be.
But I was thinking it should be the other way around. If you're getting too many negatives, it's time for you to rise up and say, look, things have to change. You don't have to wait for a positive. I mean, shouldn't that be the case?
Like I said,
happening in
Sudan. We are used to suffering and smiling. We are used to the fact that there's going to be hope for a better tomorrow. There is so much democratization of religious fanaticism. People trade on hope, on futuristic promises, and the fact that there's an El Dorado, there's an ideal somewhere that's just hope. Don't spoil today. Don't spoil your tomorrow today. Don't eat the streets.
The question is who sold all
now
those
those that sold that to us are two sets of people. Number one, the religious bodies, because we have a proliferation of religious bodies across the country, which is supposed to be a good thing. But unfortunately, it has made us docile. It has made us to only spend time praying and attending churches and attending mosques and meetings instead of us holding these guys accountable. So until we get to that point whereby we don't just take words and actions for granted, but ensure that everything that is being done is accounted for. Once we get to that point of anger, we're not angry yet.
The Nigerian populace has been so beaten down, if you ask me. We've been bringing out to a point where we don't think that we can raise our head above water.
Or that we even deserve better.
Do you understand? That's what I noticed. People feel like, look, there's nothing I can do. I remember one year that DSTV increased their fees like 3 times in 1 year. And I went online, I was like, look, people, let's what's the word?
Boycott.
Let's boycott DSTV. 3 months. So, people tell me, I have to watch Premiership, I would like to tell my children at home. And I keep thinking, when did we get to a level where we became so docile? When did we become scared of our own shadow in Nigeria? And that's really where we are at,
So from what both of you are saying, because I'm still trying to see where there is some sort of light at the end of the tunnel, but you guys are just painting a very dark and gloomy picture, meaning that we're going to continue in this cycle forever and ever, because the average person out there couldn't be bothered about who sits in government, what they do.
There is only
and for those of us who scream about it, we only do it on Twitter.
Exactly. So there is only going to be light if a tiny few rise up, because in every generation, in every sector, in every generation.
Let's be specific. Rise up where? On Twitter?
Rise up.
On Facebook? Let's be specific. I'd like to know. Rise
up, and take to the street. There's something about mass action. There's something about mob action. There's something about the soul of the mob, about people demanding change, and, to be honest, from those who are credible. Because there's the issue of hungry and food and pot-belly activists. Those who, they only shout and rise, but when they say, come and become essay to the special, to the president, oh, okay, so now you less the struggle. So there is a point whereby we need people who have honest means of living, those who can do without the government patronage, those who can inspire true leadership, and people who are willing to die. Wow. Nobody wants to die.
Let me say this.
Lost all Nigerians right now because nobody's ready to die.
Let me say this.
Absolutely nobody.
Let me say this.
And you don't have to die physically right now, but
exactly.
It's about.
There have been struggles. There have been people who have decided that we're going to get the government to do this and that. I mean, Mahatma Gandhi did that, and there was no bloodshed.
Okay, not in Nigeria.
We cannot. I'm just saying, because the moment you paint a picture of a Nigerian dying, he's out of the game.
But Nigerians are even killing themselves already.
They're already dying. You know,
So
that's the
do you
painful
get-
part. They're already dying.
The life
But
expectancy in
they're
Nigeria is low. It's below 50.
It's 48. Let me
Thank
be honest with you.
So
yes.
Nigeria is killing you ordinary, on a daily basis.
Yes, you're already
the
dying.
environment,
Exactly.
the economy, the pollution. Then why can't we just say, okay, if I perish, I perish?
Wow.
So we need a leader that will take us to that
Let's come
point.
back to the PDP here. Now, the PDP has said that they're setting up a committee to investigate the conduct of its lawmakers at the National Assembly elections. Now, the party directed its members to vote Ali Ndume, as I said, but they didn't. So, the National Publicity Secretary, Kola Lobodinyo, had said that an 86th National Executive Committee at a meeting in Abuja told journalists that PDP would investigate what happened. He stated that the party had already set up a committee to probe this election, and he declined to name the members of that committee. He said the party has set up a committee to investigate what happened in the National Assembly election as it concerns the party. So they also said they had raised the governorship nomination fee ahead of the Kogi and Bayelsa State governorship elections from the initial 5 million to 20 million. So lots of people will be dropped along the way, I guess. But do you see anything coming out of this investigation? Because you see, these lawmakers are already there and the deed has been done. Whoever is the Senate President and the Speaker, they're already there. They're doing their jobs.
What they're doing is simply image laundering. They're trying to look good. They're trying to wash their dirty linen in public and make it clean, because they know that this is all a game of numbers. This position is about the highest bidder. And they cannot claim not to know what has gone on behind the scene. But they're just saying, okay, we are the opposition, let's proceed and let's give a positioning of transparency. You know, just like backing a dog that cannot bite. You know, like, oh, how did this, but come on, show us.
Please explain this to me. PDP told his members, vote this person. And they did not vote this person. They voted somebody else. What committee are they setting up?
Exactly.
They already know that their members did not vote. So if they find out, what they should be asking themselves is, why did our members not vote? It's not that there was a problem.
I'm thinking that the question should be, why tell your members who to vote for?
Thank you.
No, that is...
You shouldn't.
No, the truth of the matter is that Nigeria...
We know that it's a game of interest,
yes,
but
Nigeria, that's how it's
openly
always been.
tell your members?
It's the same thing with
who to vote
APC. They've
for?
told their members, that's the way. The truth of the matter is that we work on the party system in Nigeria. It's the party system that works.
So the party decides.
Yes, so the
everything.
party, yes, that's the way it works in Nigeria. The party decides.
And that's why I
Now,
always ask, if the party keeps deciding everything, where is the role of, or the place of the people, the masses, the people that you're there to serve? If the party is controlling everything, where do we come in?
no, but you see, the party is made up, sorry, forgive me. Party is made up of people, of the people. Let me tell you, I was...
People? Is it people who are fighting for us or themselves?
Yes, let me explain. I was a polling agent for the governorship elections, and I was there representing my party, and we had people representing other parties. Those people are people on my street, people that I know. We all know each other, but these people are members of the party, and right in front of me, I had to cause a major ruckus. They were settling people. This person will not tell me that I'm not in government. But he has enabled the person in government. So you see, when we're talking about party, it's not them up there, it's us. And until we realize that we are being used all the time, and sit back and take a look. Okay, that's why honestly I love Kwara State. I love Kwarans. Like, they just made their mind, you know what? We're not doing this anymore. And that's where we need to get to in Nigeria. We need to get to a point where, okay, I'm a member of APC, but if I don't like the person in power...
Will we ever get to that point?
Yes,
it looks like we never will, because
I believe we will.
We always find comfort one way or the other, whether, no matter how bad the situation is, we'll always just find a way to survive. We're the best managers in the world. We manage our situation.
I think that change will come when someone who has been thrown up by this default system we operate decides to go against the norm by also recruiting people in that same position to join him. Because right now, there is no hope for the system. It is rotten. But someone must be able to catch that vision that, okay, these guys, I'll share the money. That's the only way I can get there. But when I get there, do I want to leave a legacy? And how can I also rise above that mediocrity?
They'll kill him. He'll be dead meat.
So that's also the next level of leadership, whereby you have to also recruit somebody and people of the same caliber to also effect that change, not just you, because a lone soldier will die.
Leadership
but how do you get like minds because you see, the truth is, whether we like it or not, our governments are a reflection of us.
Exactly.
And when we talk about corruption, we're quick to point at people in leadership, but we also fuel the problem.
I disagree.
Exactly.
Hold on.
Everything rises and stops at leadership.
I don't agree with you.
Let me just hold on.
Humans will behave the same way if there is no leader that will ensure that the consequence of their behavior is enforced.
I know this, but that leader is not going to drop from the moon, right?
He's going to come from among the people.
Amongst us. So I always ask, because for example, a local government chairman has all the good ideas and wants to help his people, but then every blessed day, all he has to attend to instead of matters of the state is, my child is sick, give me money for house rent.
And he knows he's coming for election in 4 years.
So they're cooking big pots of soup in his house every day and sharing to people. Where does the money come from?
Or is it that you're...
Who's going to ask for accountabilities if every day you're going cap in hand to beg this man?
Do you think that this doesn't happen in other parts of the world?
No.
Because we think that Nigeria's situation is different.
We are a peculiar people.
This is one of the things that we say to console ourselves. We think we are different. We think that, Nigeria, our own problem is so unique. No. We, Nigeria, Singapore, Malaysia, we were at the same level of poverty, of corruption in the 60s and 70s.
Okay, wait, come.
But this country has risen because leaders rose. People had to be sacrificed. Things have to be done, in the extreme way. It's about leadership.
We have just 1 minute. We need to go.
Oh my God.
We need to go. 1 minute.
See, let me explain to you, right? Nigeria is one of the countries that has the poorest people. If you look at our per capita income and that of Bangladesh, it's about the same thing. Right? Yes, about the same thing. Per capita in Bangladesh and Nigeria, right? But in Bangladesh, the people that are poor are about 22 million. In Nigeria, we have over 79 million people that are below the poverty line. We have in Bangladesh, the total population is about 170 million, almost close to Nigeria, but their level of poverty is a lot smaller because things are easier for them. Things are cheaper. In Nigeria, we don't go that way. Everything, when you make a policy, a normal economic policy that works everywhere else, has a different way in Nigeria. It's only in Nigeria that you see something made in Aba, you see something made in US. But the one made in US is worse.
Should the poverty in Nigeria be fueling the corruption that we are experiencing?
That's exactly what I'm saying, because poverty is a global phenomenon. As long as the earth remains, there will always be poor people.
But it's not an excuse for corruption.
Exactly. And that is why, in spite of the poverty, if there is transparency, if there is accountability, if people don't do things with impunity, if there is law and order, regard for the rule of law, when things are done properly.
Who are the people that will maintain the law?
We need to go. Femi Gbajabiamila, political analyst. Sam Adeleke, thank you very much, political analyst, for this conversation could just go on and on. But we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll be speaking about the back and forth war between the former president, Olusegun Obasanjo, and the presidency. Stay with us. We'll be right back.